We are Georgia and David. In March of 2022, we quit our jobs to travel the world full-time. We are currently exploring Mexico, and our goal is to visit 100 Pueblos Mágicos.
Welcome to the Pueblo Mágico of San Cristóbal de las Casas. This Pueblo Mágico is located in the coffee-growing mountainous region of Chiapas, and we are very excited to be here. We're going to be spending the next 28 days, and in this video we're going to show you some of the best things that we ate, some of the coolest things we saw, as well as give you an Airbnb tour and a breakdown of our expenses at the very end.
After checking out the main kiosco, our next stop was the cathedral.
So we just visited the Catedral de San Cristóbal, and it smelled like wood in there. It was very beautiful ceiling, and I think they just reopened it after the 2017 earthquake damaged it.
Yeah, it wasn't structurally sound for a little while, so if you watch some other YouTube videos, you'll see that people didn't get to go in. So we feel very lucky to have got to go inside and see it. As I mentioned before, this is a coffee growing region, so the next mission of the day is to go find somewhere to buy some coffee.
So after trying some coffees, we decided to get a half kilo of Natural, and there's only one more thing we need to stock up on.
And behind us here is El Tucan, which is a wine and liquor store, which looks to have a fantastic selection. So we're gonna go head in and stock up on the other essentials. Well, we have now come back home with our purchases. That half kilo of coffee, fresh ground to a medium grind, was 250 pesos. That bottle of Robert Mondavi was 687 pesos. Those two bottles of Sangre de Toro were 346 pesos each, and the bottle of Wild Turkey 101 was 451 pesos. So I think we are stocked up for a while.
So we've driven about 10 kilometers outside of San Cristóbal to El Rancho Nuevo to explore the grutas, or caves.
Yeah, the entrance to the eco park was just 20 pesos a person, but I do think that there is a separate charge for the grutas, but we'll find out in a minute. The weather today is quite cloudy. The weather has been cloudy every single day. This is our sixth day.
And cold.
We have seen the sun for like an hour twice. It's rained almost every single day, and I think right now it's like 56 degrees. The high today I think is 60. So definitely a lot different than Coatzacoalcos, where we just came from, where it was like 93 every day. So we're adjusting to the temperature. The good thing is that the Airbnb we have is maybe our favorite Airbnb we've ever had. So it's been fine to spend some time in the Airbnb relaxing, but today we're out adventuring. So we're gonna go check out those grutas.
While there is lighting in the cave, the cavern is so massive that it's still very dark. Unfortunately, the GoPro struggles in low light, so this was the best footage we could capture, and it doesn't do the cave justice.
cómo el amarillo lo fabrican para hacer los pisos, muebles y artesanías. Y es importante no tocarlas porque se secan y dejan de crecer. Aproximadamente en 20 años vuelven a crecer otra vez si las tocamos. Es el cuarzo blanco. Como les dije, son translúcidos, traspasan la luz.
So we just finished up in the Grutas Principal, and the first part was 60 pesos to get in, and then you walk all the way down, very nice sidewalky type thing, just kind of be careful because of slick spots. And once you get down to the end of that part, there's another part you can continue on. We had to pay 70 pesos, 35 pesos per person to get through that part, and that was guided, and you had to wear a helmet.
Yeah, it was also unlit, so it was just, she gave us each a flashlight. She had a flashlight, and so we could kind of shine it on things to see it. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. I actually think probably the entrance is the prettiest part when you first walk in. It has the most stalactites and stalagmites, but the part that we saw had marble and quartz. So that was kind of interesting. Now I think we're gonna go grab something to eat. There is a little strip of food stalls, so we're gonna see what they have.
The tortillas were handmade. The soup was okay, but could have definitely used some more meat. The fried plantains, however, were outstanding.
All right, so we finished up here at the Eco Park. There was another gruta to do, but we decided not to do that.
Yeah, you know, one cave kind of looks like other caves, so one was good for us, but you can do two. We also checked out a little area where they had some deer. They had a little greenhouse. They have a place where you can do a short little zip line, and they also have a place where you can rent horses for the day. So there's quite a bit to do here, but I think for us the one cave plus lunch was sufficient. It is pretty cold, so I think we're gonna head back.
All right, so today is day 7 here in San Cristobal de las Casas, and it's the first sunny day we've had. So we've come to Esquina de San Agustin.
Which you can see here is a very cool food hall with lots of different restaurants. We have come to Amor Negro, which is a very hipstery coffee bar, and I have the honey coffee in French press style, and then David got 2 different espresso shots, and we both have sparkling water.
Brunch at Amor Negro was really, really good. We both had the poached eggs and hollandaise. It was really, really good. Probably one of the best brunches we've had here in Mexico. And then at the end, I talked Georgia into getting a huge chocolate donut, and we ended up leaving with a quarter kilo of their coffee.
This gate behind us here is the gate that if you walk through, you return to San Cristobal. Unfortunately, we can't walk through it because it's under construction. Well, if you feel like getting some exercise, you can climb all these stairs to the very top of this hill, and you will arrive at Iglesia de San Cristobalito. We lifted weights this morning, so I don't think we need the exercise.
This artisanal market had some of the highest quality goods we've seen in all of Mexico. Everything appeared to be handmade and was absolutely beautiful.
So as you can see, Georgia has a big sack of nuts.
So one thing that San Cristobal, or Chiapas as a region, is known for is posh, which is a basically white liquor that is made with corn. So right here we have the tradicional, the ancestral, and the ceremonial. Cheers.
The posh was delicious, and spoiler alert, this wasn't our last visit to the posheria. After hanging out at the Airbnb for a bit, we came back out to try some highly rated pizza.
Well, yesterday I mentioned that we'd already got our workout for the day, so we weren't going to climb the stairs to that church, but this is a new day and that's a new hill.
So we're going to head up these stairs to check out the Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe church. So we come to San Cristóbal de las Casas. It's definitely worth the 80 or so steps I counted on the way up to see this church.
Yeah, we're both a little out of breath because we are at a high altitude. Here it is about 7,000 feet, so that is something to be aware of. But this church was really cool. It had a really beautiful chandelier in the cupola, and then there were some neon lights as well as like some wood carvings on the ceilings. Very pretty, and you get a really great view of San Cristobal. I think we're gonna head down and maybe check out a couple of museums and definitely get some breakfast because we already burned off some calories.
Yeah. All right, so we decided to get something to eat before we went on to the museums. I got, for the first time in a long time, I got some hotcakes and bacon. It was really, really good, and we were able to pay a little bit extra to get real maple syrup.
Yeah, they had actual Canadian maple syrup for 30 pesos extra, which is just a rarity here. And having grown up in New England, I really appreciate true maple syrup. So that was super good. We also got naranjadas there. Service was great. It was a very cute spot. And like almost everywhere here in San Cristobal, they had their own coffee. We didn't end up trying it because we went with the naranjadas, but it is an option. The clouds are starting to roll in, so we're going to quickly get over to the Jade Museum now.
So we just finished up in the Jade Museum, which was really cool, and it was 50 pesos per person to enter.
Yeah, it's small, but the little pieces that they have are awesome. They're all reproductions, but they're made out of actual jade. So it was really cool. And then after you walk through the museum, there's a little workshop area where they're selling some jewelry items and some reproductions that you can put in your home as well. Now we have moved on just a few hundred meters up the street to head to our second museum of the day, Nablom.
In order to buy tickets for the Nablom Museum, you have to go into the Jardín de Jaguar across the street. There you can watch a video about the legacy of Franz Blum. The Museum of Nablom was the home of Franz Blum, who was originally from Denmark, but made Mexico his home and helped map and discover many Mayan ruins in the area. Franz's wife, Gertrude Dubby, who was originally from Switzerland, played a major role in documenting the native people by taking more than 40,000 photographs of their textiles, artisanias, and daily lives.
So we just finished up in the Bolo Museum.
They're still doing some conservation today, planting little trees. There's a section in the back where they have a little greenhouse, and they are kind of reforesting the jungle around here, which is really neat.
So one thing we noticed on the way up here, actually, it's kind of funny. There's different sounds you hear in Mexico. You know, like the gas truck goes by, and like they'll have a little jingle going on. And it was funny. We were walking up here, and then this truck was playing "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head," and it was a water truck. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, so appropriate. While I was in the museum, I did buy this little crocheted monkey. We have been buying a lot more little things than we normally do. There are lots of indigenous people from the tribes around who come into town to sell their wares. One thing that is neat is that a lot of them still wear their traditional clothing. So you see some women who have these big black woolen skirts. You see others who have big black skirts that are tied with these huge and intricate belts. And then there are other women who are wearing just clothes embroidered from top to bottom. And that's something we haven't gotten to see a lot in Mexico, is the traditional clothing. We see it in museums, but not actually walking around the street. So that is cool here. And I do try to support by buying little artisanias when I can.
Today our first stop is the Museo de Amber, or Amber Museum.
One of the reasons we're making this the first stop of the day is because it does close every day between 2 and 4. So it's just something to know. And the museum is housed in an ex-convento, so we're gonna go check it out.
Unfortunately, video was not allowed inside the museum, but Georgia was able to take some beautiful photos.
So we just finished up in the Amber Museum. It was very cool. It just cost 50 pesos per person, and a lot of the pieces in there are very intricate. I can't imagine how long it would take to make those things.
Yeah, one of the most impressive ones I thought was like the chess set, and then there were a couple sculptures of eagles and some of the indigenous Mexican leaders, and just really, really cool.
That Tortuga turtle.
Yeah, and they had a scorpion. Really, really neat. Very small, compact, but totally worth the price. Also, it's in this gorgeous ex-convento, which is actually built in 1536 and just restored in 1996. There is the actual chapel on the side that you can go in that is free. You don't have to include it with the admission to the Amber Museum. But overall, we enjoyed it, and we're heading on to yet another church.
So per usual, our luck with the churches isn't too great, and we weren't able to get into the most beautiful church that I've seen. Unfortunately, it also had some scaffolding on the front.
Yeah, it was very, very detailed, very ornate in the front, and you could kind of see it through the
Yeah,
scaffolding.
you could tell it'd be really beautiful.
Yeah, it was a real shame.
So we just finished up our delicious lunch. We started out with the tamales de chipolín, and then I ordered the cochito, which was shredded pork, and very delicious.
And I got the asado de coleto, which honestly was kind of like the asado de boda that we had in Zacatecas. It was just chunks of pork slow cooked in a kind of red mole type sauce. David's shredded pork was definitely more flavorful, so I would recommend the cochito. But all of these dishes are from Chiapas, so they're all local specialties, and that's why I would definitely recommend that restaurant. They made some really great mezcal cocktails. Mine was with Jamaica. Citrus. So good. And the prices there were extremely reasonable because we had 4 cocktails, we had 4 sparkling waters, an appetizer, and 2 entrees. So highly recommend. But I think we're gonna head home because the clouds are rolling in and it is getting dark fast.
Yeah. So yesterday, which was Halloween, we watched the Katrina parade, which then turned into like a Moto Terror parade, which is kind of like the one we saw in Morelia last year. After that, we watched the Katrina contest for a little bit until it got a little bit too rainy, and we decided to go get something to eat at our favorite taqueria.
Yeah, tacos there are super, super good. Today we mostly stayed home all day because I don't know if you can tell, but it is quite cold. I think it's like 58 degrees. The high today was 61. It's been drizzling all day, but we've come out because today is November 1st, so it is like the day of Dia de Muertos, so we wanted to see if they had anything going on. I can see they have some altares set up, so we're going to go take a look at those, and if nothing else goes on, we'll probably just grab some pizza.
After checking out the altares, we stopped by a small artisanal market and picked up some absolutely delicious handmade chocolates on our way to get what ended up being the best pizza we tried in San Cris.
So today is November 2nd, and so we decided to come out to the cemetery here in San Cristobal to check out the decorations.
Yeah, we came on the earlier side because we just wanted to try to be respectful. Here, the decorations don't seem to be as big of a deal as they were when we were in Michoacan. They use a lot of pine straw on top with some cempasúchil, but there's almost no candles at all.
No.
Families were having huge feasts. They brought tables and chairs. There were a couple of bands. Yeah, pretty much everybody spent the night last night, and most of them are still here today. I figured it would have kind of cleared out a bit, but definitely not the case. It was cool to see, but we just didn't really feel comfortable videoing just because there were so many families together spending time. It was neat. It definitely had a very different vibe from Dia de Muertos in Michoacan, though.
Yeah.
Our last meal in San Cristobal was a restaurant that we visited a few times during our stay, El Caldero. Every soup that we tried had an amazing depth of flavor, and the prices were super reasonable. Given the cold weather, this place ended up being one of our favorites.
This was our Airbnb for the past 28 days in San Cristóbal de las Casas. This is the entryway. You turn here, and this bedroom here we used to work out. This bedroom here we did not use at all. This bedroom here we also did not use, and it has a full ensuite. Come down this hall here, and there is another full bathroom. Continue down this hall, and you come into the kitchen. There's a full-size fridge, big stovetop, dishwasher, and then here is the dining room, and then here is the downstairs living room. This house is absolutely massive. It's one of our favorite Airbnbs. I didn't realize it was quite this big when I booked it, but you come up the stairs here. Here you have another full bath. This is the actual shower that we used. And then you turn here, and there's this bedroom with all this closet space. This is the bedroom we slept in. Then there's this bedroom. This is the one we used to store our stuff and charge our things. And there's a month worth of towels and sheets. Here is the living room we used because it has this gigantic TV, which we loved. Here is a third living area, a table that I used to do my makeup and David edited videos. There's a little bar area. And then here is our balcony, which you can see has an absolutely fantastic view of town. And then down there, that is our yard that we parked to the Jeep in. There's actually 3-door entrances. If you can see there, there's the garage door. So, loved this place. Oh, wait, I forgot. There's one more full bathroom right here. So yeah, massive house, great price, walking distance to town, highly recommend.
And now for our top recommendations. For a great coffee, we recommend Carajillo as well as Amor Negro, and don't miss out on their Eggs Benedict. And Posherita, try the Spirit of Chiapas. Posh. If you're craving pizza, try Rufa Bella. For amazing tacos, we recommend El Tacoleto. We had the best Thai food we had in all of Mexico at Comida Thai. El Caldero serves amazing soups. And finally, we recommend Belil's Sabores de Chiapas for some authentic local cuisine. The main things to do in San Cristobal are to walk down the colorful pedestrian streets and eat at the amazing array of restaurants. Outside of San Cristobal, we recommend heading to Chiapa de Corzo and catching a boat ride through the Sumidero Canyon, as well as heading to Comitan to see El Chiflon waterfalls.
That sprawling Airbnb set us back $1,978. We spent $197 on transportation, just $95 on entertainment. We spent $700 on bars and alcohol, $871 on all those delicious restaurants. We spent $523 on groceries and just $11 on utilities. Finally, $68 on personal care. That grand total, $4,443, or just $159 per day. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them down below. And if you haven't already, check out our Dia de Muertos video from last year where we celebrated it in Michoacan.